As you know, the college has had, 50 years of history, and we had a wonderful, really amazing year of celebrating 50 years of history at this college. And when you think about it, just a few tidbits. This program is not going to be long, I promise you, because it's more, let's have a really nice social afternoon together. So my words will be very brief, but I want to hit on some key points, is that for 50 years, this college has been here, and you've had 4 presidents. That in itself is pretty amazing. And you think about 66,000 students later. I mean, that's how many have gone through the halls of this college. That's pretty amazing in 50 years. With lots of accomplishments and our students and graduates living all over the world doing wonderful things. So today, in something that we thought would be pretty remarkable, we started talking about this a long time ago, wouldn't it be nice to have 4 presidents' pictures somewhere? It's probably the only college I've ever been at in the nation that doesn't have the pictures up somewhere. Right. Maybe there was a reason, I don't know. Maybe it's my face they didn't want up there, I don't know. But whatever the reasons, in talking about it, where's Sandra Pitts? There's Sandra and Lynn and Mary Ann. I'm going to just single them out. Please just step up a little bit. As a group, and Sandra being the first graduating class, their graduating class is a 50th anniversary gift. It's a gift to the college. Donated these pictures. So on behalf of the college, let's give Sandra and our first graduating class, the class of 365 students? 325 students. That very first class that was 50 years ago. Wonderful round of applause for their wonderful gift. Thank you on behalf of everyone. We'll soon tell you whether we like them or not.
That's right.
And Lynn, Lynn, just step forward a little bit. Come on. Turn around, speak. Lynn then took the project on and framed them and got the pictures and did all the legwork behind it. And Mary Ann standing beside her. Mary Ann, Lynn, and Sandra really did a tremendous effort of making sure this happened, and in a way that we can all celebrate the history of our school. So we've asked the families in relationships to come together to celebrate each one individually. So we'll start with Dr. Flanagan, move on to Liston, move on to Dr. C, and finally the one remaining onto mine, which is kind of weird thinking about that in some ways. When this project started, I certainly hadn't anticipated that this would be the year that I would be saying goodbye as well. So, with that, the picture probably has a little bit more meaning to me than it did when we first started this project. So with that in mind, it's a pretty exciting time as we celebrate the history of our school, history of our students, and most importantly, this wonderful gift from Sandra and the first graduating class. So with that, I'm going to ask the Flanagans to unveil. Jack Flanagan is here to unveil Dr. Flanagan's picture, and then they'll say a few words on behalf of their dad.
That's really
Jack, on behalf of the family, you're going to be the spokesperson today?
Okay. Happily. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for this wonderful event for the past year. When my father always was very, as you know, he was a big fan of the liberal arts. He had very practical reasons for being a fan of the liberal arts, and that he knew that when you got out of college with a liberal arts degree, you weren't going to make a lot of money, but 10 years later you'd make more than most of the rest. So there was a practical side to it. But the history that's been remembered this year, I don't have to repeat any of the history, because President Ray and the staff here, I pick up the green and gold when I read my wife's alumni bulletin. She's here somewhere, Claudia. A very successful graduate of the college. And so I don't have to repeat that history. And I can remember my father saying toward the end of his life, he said, I don't know if anybody really remembers you later, but he bumped into somebody who remembered his father, who was a surgeon in Providence during the days of ether, and he said somebody actually remembered him 30 years later. So this, knowing what my father knew, is quite a thrill. The second thing I would say, and I would add, and I'll try to be brief, I tend to be verbose, but he also, I can remember him coming into my room with the connections the night we were about to leave the house, and he was retiring, and he was really happy because he said that they've selected, the trustees were smart, they selected President Liston, and I said that was great. And he was very pleased about that, and what he went on to do and with the campus in Providence. Now, I remember my father had one dream before he left. Before he left, he said, we really let him down on the other side of the bay. He said, they always supported us in the bond issues. They needed a campus. And under President Seep and following with President Ray, we've seen that come to fruition. And the people of Rhode Island are really, I guess what I'm trying to say is, my father would be so thrilled that the miracle on Promenade Street continues to this day. And it's best reflected in the graduates that I tend to see. A couple of years ago, I made a list. People who went, am I really kind of playing this up? Yeah. And the people I knew, the best accountant I knew, some of the best lawyers I knew, I bumped into a kid at the physical therapy place a couple of years ago having my knee fixed. Where do you go to school? I'm going to Johns Hopkins Medical School. Top 3 or 4 in the country. I went to CCRI in Brown. So the dream continues, and that's what we thank you, and we really thank you for remembering this. And President Ray,
Just Ray.
Jimmy and I were at the golf tournament last year, and we said, boy, Dad would have liked him, huh? He said, he's this kind of guy. They could sit down over a Kreller and a coffee, and you don't need as many Krellers as the Flanagans do, but have a wonderful time. So thank you very much. Thank you for the history. Thank you for remembering. It's a wonderful year.
On the plaque, it says, Dr. William F. Flanagan, 1964 to 1978, a gift from the class of 1968, right?
6.
Six. Got it. Okay. Next is Dr. Liston's picture, and we asked Linda Sincerni, who's very close friends with the Listons. Obviously, all of us know that passed away this past year, and hopefully, we had a nice tribute to him. We had his name on the marquee for a while, did a nice tribute in the green and white, and a great remembrance of the many years that he served here. The irony of this, as I was telling the Flanagans earlier, is that each one of us, Tom, me, we get to live in the house, and the Flanagans did, the Listons did. There's some connection the 4 of us will always have to one another, in ways that nobody else will ever know. And those little secrets in the house, Tom. those little getaways, Tom, that nobody knows about. But we all are connected in a very special way. But Linda worked for him and knew the family well. And on behalf of the Liston family, Linda sincerely will unveil the Liston portrait.
Oh boy.
All right.
Wow. Well, again, my name is Linda, and I served as Mr. Liston's administrative assistant for most of his 20 years as president of CCRI. And it was just a pleasure. So we don't have to go into any of his accomplishments or his legacy, because I think everyone in this room would agree. But what I would like to share with you is 2 things that I really admired and found, wonderful about Mr. Liston. And one was his open door policy. No matter who you were, you could be staff, clerical, maintenance, VP, dean, he always welcomed you into his office, always. And secondly, he always allowed people to prove themselves. He just gave you the reins and you just went with it. And it was just we were a great team. His management team was second to none, and we had a good time doing it. But on a personal note, I would have to say, to me, Mr. Liston was the easiest, the hardest, the most difficult at times, and I think a lot of people in this room would agree to that, okay? Yep. But he was easy to work for, and he was energetic and insightful, and all those wonderful things, and it was a pleasure and an honor to work for him, or with him. So, on that note, I would like to thank you, Mr. Liston, for all you have done for us here at CCRI, and for the people in the state of Rhode Island. And I would really like to thank you, President Pasquale, Ray, for this honor today.
Thank you, Linda. So Edward Liston, 1978 to 2000, a gift from the class of 1966. So following Dr. Liston was Dr. Seep, and we've asked Deborah, his wife, to make the presentation today. And obviously Tom is here as well, and it's going to be a wonderful opportunity for Tom and Deb to both say something about this really remarkable day. It feels that way for so many different reasons, is that this will live on forever. It's a wonderful gift. So Deb, it is a real pleasure to have you back, welcome back, and to have you do the presentation. Okay. Come on, Deb. Wow. Good one. Wow.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm retired now, so I have to resort to notes because I don't care about short-term memory loss. I just live in the moment. So I did prepare a couple things, but it's in large print, so it won't be long. I don't have my glasses, but I'm pleased to be with you today to introduce to you Dr. Thomas D. Seep, the third president of the Community College of Rhode Island. While Tom came to CCRI in August of 2000 from a community college in New Jersey, he is a native Rhode Islander. And Tom was born in Newport. And how fitting for a man who returned to his roots and to a job where one of his responsibilities was to design and open the fourth campus of the Community College of Rhode Island in Newport County. Stunning architectural facility that blends with the community and can serve 2,000 students. Tom also completed an extended and extensive building program, including the Wall campus and the Providence campus, and in fact, we're standing in one of the renovations today. But building facilities was only one of his accomplishments. He was hired by the board to bring about progressive changes to CCRI, and he did. He realigned and improved testing, advising, and developmental education services for underprepared students, creating a philosophical focus on teaching and learning for greater student success. Tom expanded academic programs and technology, as well as programs and services to business and industry agencies, improved and extended articulation agreements between CCRI and higher education institutions, giving students more opportunities to transfer their coursework and continue their success beyond the Community College of Rhode Island. He instituted the college's first long-range planning process, initiated the first college-wide professional development program still in existence today, and CCRI became more diverse under his leadership in terms of student population and college personnel. Fundraising being a major part of the president's role, Tom strengthened donations to the CCRI Foundation from $25,000 per year to $2.2 million in a 2-year period, while also improving grant acquisitions. And in 2006, Tom returned to the classroom full-time at CCRI, teaching student success, career, seminar, and educational psychology courses for 6 years. I know this was an extremely rewarding time in his life, working one-on-one with students and helping them achieve their potential. During this time, Tom also taught for 7 years in the Educational Leadership Doctoral Program, Johnson Wales University, preparing students for upper-level administration in higher education. This is a similar experience, knowing the students would one day achieve their dream of becoming college administrators. And in fact, 2 of Tom's former students are now college presidents. And that brings us to today. Tom's current job is retirement. And one that he has mastered to perfection, I must tell you. He has mentored myself, he's mentored my family, some of my friends, regarding the many duties and responsibilities of this great job. If you're not doing it, you've got to do this. It's just great. And if he were to grade us as students, we know that we would all receive A's, right? No. All right. So we know that Tom is our role model in this area, and I'd like to introduce to you Tom Seep.
Who is that masked man? Thank you very much. And This is overwhelming. I did not expect on a hot Thursday afternoon to see this many people here for this wonderful celebration. It's time to thank you and thank the class of 1966. It's something I will long cherish. There's, like Deb, retirement has kind of fried my brain, so I'm going to use some notes.
In a good way.
In a good way. I think it's really important to have this gallery, I think as Ray's talking about, because presidents hold a unique position in organizations. And while we all kind of think what we know what a president does, I think it really takes a president to having sat in the chair, so to speak, to understand what it really is to be a president. I think you would certainly agree to that. It's not what you see from the outside. So I think while I think each of us probably is our own unique person, I think we bring a great deal to Community College of Rhode Island, and I think that the bond of having been in that big chair is certainly something we share here in this wonderful room. I'd like to just spend a minute and just kind of pull back that little curtain for a second about what it is to be a president. There's some things that we typically don't share with each other, with other people, but we share with each other. There's that certain relationship between and among presidents. And one of the things that we all experience is the changing of the guard. Presidents leave and new presidents come in. And to the outside world, it's an external process, a very public and complex process of selecting a new person to come in. However, I think all of us as presidents have a more personal way of transitioning, and it's a means of communicating with the incoming person in a special kind of way to help them along in taking over the reins of the position. Each of us has kind of our own way, I think, of doing this. For example, when I was in New Jersey and became president, the outgoing president left a very thick, large envelope, sealed and marked confidential, in the top drawer of the president's desk. When I opened it, there were extensive personal evaluations of all of the leaders on campus, the administrators, faculty, and staff, as well as a list of those things that were the pending doom that I should be watching out for as I took over the reins. That was very helpful. Another institution, a long-term president, in handing over the reins to a young and less experienced person, left this person 3 envelopes in the top drawer of the desk with a little note saying, only open these in case of a situation you do not know how to handle. Well, within the first year, this young president opened their first envelope because he had a problem, and it said, form a committee. Sure enough, he formed a committee, it did its work, problem got solved. This was just great, but not too much longer down his tenure, boy, he was in that drawer again, opening envelope number 2, rips it open, it says, hire a consultant. That worked beautifully. Problem solved. He was on Easy Street for at least a year or so. But then, as you would guess, into the drawer for the 3rd and final envelope. He carefully opened it up and read, make out 3 envelopes. No, Ed didn't leave me any envelopes. Not 1 or not 3. So after I was selected to take on the leadership of the college, but before I actually officially came on board, I came up to the college one afternoon to visit and meet some people, visit some groups, and kind of get the lay of the land for myself. At the end of the day, I decided that I really needed to sit down with my able assistant and my public relations director, Nancy Abood and Linda, there you are, to kind of rehash my day and kind of get some reality from what they could share with me. So I got the president's chair, came around the desk, moved it over, they moved their chairs around, I sat down and began to talk, and as I did, I leaned back on my chair to suddenly find myself face out, laying on the floor, still in a sitting position, looking up at the ceiling, and then looking at the two astonished faces of my colleagues, who quickly tried to stifle their laughter. Well, after I kind of composed myself, put the chair back on the ground, I looked underneath to find that one or two screws had been taken out from the bottom of the chair. Ed, wherever you are, I would have rather had some envelopes. But seriously, I think each one of us, in our own way, has done a lot to contribute to Community College of Rhode Island. The list that Deb presented kind of is a reminder to me that all the things that happened and all the support and the effort of so many people to get that list accomplished. But each and every one of those items on the list, either directly or indirectly, was there to serve students better. That's what we're about. That's the common core that we all feel, all of us feel, who dedicate our lives and our talents to working in community colleges. Having said that, I do have to admit that, yes, the Newport campus has a little soft spot in my heart, that being born in the Newport Hospital, it's kind of nice to kind of bring something back to the hometown. It's also, I think, relevant that this campus fulfilled the original plan for Rhode Island Junior College. And I think that's something that we should all be very proud of. But again, it's only a building. It was only a campus. It's only an edifice, not a reward for anyone. What happens there is the legacy, not who built it, who designed it. And that came home to me early in June. The foundation sends out a little packet every year to those of us who have scholarships at CCRI. And in the packet is information about the students who have been recipients, a little bio and some thank you letters. And it's always a treat to read those. This year I was struck by one of the recipients in particular, and she described how she was going to use the scholarship money to continue her education, and particularly as a single mother going to school with her son, how useful that money was going to be to both of them. But the part of her bio that struck me more than that was when she was asked why she came to Community College of Rhode Island. She said, because I could walk to the Newport campus. The campus is fulfilling our mission. It's helping students. It's making students have accessibility to college and accessibility to success. And we can't ask for anything more than that. So, to all of you, thank you for this honor. But it's so many of you, my friends and colleagues, who've made whatever I've been able to accomplish successful. Thank you very much.
So Dr. Thomas Sich from 2000 to 2005, and again, a wonderful gift from the class of 66. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you both. We have a couple of guests that I want to at least acknowledge, and Scott Conacher for a second. The mayor of Warwick, who is a dear friend. And Scott's just been a dear friend, and as we all know, the city of Warwick is a better place because of this man, and he's very humble about it, but I don't know of any better mayor in the entire, country, and I don't say that lightly, because difficult economic times, and this man does a terrific, outstanding, extraordinary job of making this a great place. I live here, I pay taxes here, I tell them that all the time. Get your excise tax down, Scott. And so, honestly, and this was unexpected, I didn't know the mayor was coming, so I want to thank Scott for all that he does for CCRI, our friendship and our relationship. He's now a member of our foundation board, which some of you may not know. I was honored to ask him, and he's done that. But Scott, on behalf of the college, just thank you for being here, and you can say hello to everybody.
Very quickly, I'll just say it's always nice to be able to look back and know where we've been and to understand that we're here today because of work that 4 people and a whole bunch of you have done. So it's a pleasure to be part of this family.
Thank you, Scott. There is a great colleague of mine who's here, and I don't see him, but I know he's in the room. And Jack, where are you? Warner? Where's Jack? Jack, just step up a little bit. I came to Rhode Island because Jack Warner asked me to, and I'm here as the president because of Jack's leadership when he was commissioner. So, Jack, I just want to publicly So, thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
All right, thank you for bringing me. Now it's probably the more difficult one, is like the last one. And I asked Sandra to do this. And Sandra says, I don't know why.
Jack go up too.
Pardon?
Have Jack?
Yeah, come on, Jack, up too. Yeah. So I asked Sandra to do this because Sandra and I have a wonderful relationship. Besides the fact she's a member of the first graduating class, she truly is a dear friend and the best friend. Right? Don't you start. And then the symbolism of her being in the first class, and obviously this being the gift, I could think of no better person than to unveil mine. So, with that, it's all yours, kid. You and Jack can unveil the portrait.
Well, I'm going to
No,
do
you-
it my way.
Well,
All right, you do it your way. You do it your way.
On behalf of the class of 1966, I do want to thank Lynn Halvey for all of her efforts in
Here,
making
here, here.
our class gift. It is now my honor and privilege to present the portrait of CCRI's 4th president, Ray DePasquale, to all of you. Ray, you have said that you accomplished everything that you were brought here to do. You not only met, but far exceeded everyone's expectations. On behalf of over 64,000 alumni, please accept my sincere appreciation and heartfelt gratitude for continuing and expanding the effort to make the Miracle on Promenade to the pride of Rhode Island. When I was first asked to do this, I was told to keep it very, very short, and I always do it on time.
May I? Well, who's going to stop me? It's been my pleasure to work with 2 of these presidents. Tom was here when I came in, and then Ray in 2006. So what I can tell you is this place is far stronger because of the work of these 2 men. And to celebrate leadership, if you don't think leadership is important, try poor leadership and see what happens. You've had really good leadership at this institution, and it's a strong institution as a result of that. I've been proud to be part of it in my years here, and you've got a legacy now that will last a very long time due to the great work of these men. So proud to be part of today. Thanks for inviting me.
That kind of concludes our formal ceremony, and I think Tom reflected very well on the importance and the meaning of this, the families, that, the 4 people who have served means a lot. And as you get ready for the 5th, which is not far away, it's a remarkable experience being president. Tom knows it. You serve, you share things that most people don't know. But it is remarkable. But it is an honor. It really is an honor. When I say that to you deeply, it's amazing the honor it is to serve. And it's a real pleasure to serve because you are the face of the college. And I don't know how else to tell you that. When you're out in public, people come up to you, they remember you, they talk about this school with such passion. They love this college. And it's amazing to you that when they do that, they see you as being CCRI, and you go, wow. I can't express that strong enough, what a feeling that is across the state, and not just here. You run into people all the time. And so it really is a remarkable experience, and for anybody who's worked here. I mean, Vinny, how long, I mean, your name's up on the building. People, people look at you and they go, wow, Bob Silvestri in the back. I mean, you all know what I'm talking about. We go everywhere, and those of you that have the history here. And it's remarkable how people think of this school and how it changed their life. This is a remarkable place. And to think that we, Tom, you, I, and our 2 colleagues, got to do this. As they say in life, it doesn't get any better than that. You get to do something pretty remarkable, and you get to lead. And there's nothing more important. And so I can tell you, Sandra, this gift means more than you'll ever know to everybody on this wall. And all the feelings and emotion that go with it. And so it's a special day. It's a special gift that you've given. And to us, Tom, we get to see it for real. A couple others get to look down at it and go, wow. But now forever, hopefully, in the memory, everybody will have a memory of us who served you. So with that, it's a good place to stop. Anybody, we said at the end, if anybody wanted to say something, we would let you do that because you may have a memory of Flanagan. We're only going to keep it short because we want everybody to socialize. But if you had a memory of Dr. Flanagan or Dr. Liston or Dr. Seep or even me, feel free to say something. But more importantly, and the members of the foundation and the alumni board that are here, I don't want to look the room and miss somebody. Raise your hand. I mean, because you're several of them here. And I just want to thank you for coming today. I think this crowd is much bigger than, Tom, than we expected. And you're right, on a hot Thursday afternoon. All of you, this is a remarkable day. This is not goodbye for me because I am going to be here through the first semester of the school, so that we'll have a time to say goodbye. This is more of a celebration of 4 presidents and 1 who's still serving you. So on behalf of the foundation, on behalf of all of us, to our foundation board, Lynn, Marianne, and all of you, and then Tom and Jack. Tom Pitts, raise your hands. Jack Renza, raise your hand. There he is. You're holding the purse. Desi, I'll even say hello. But the co-chairs of the 50th anniversary committee, pretty remarkable what they did. We had some of the best events ever, and commencement was incredible. We opened day with a Flanagan, there he is, and we closed the commencement with a Flanagan, and hopefully we all remember our roots, as they say. Don't ever forget where you came from, and I think none of us will. That CCRI has come a long way, baby. It's got a long way to go, and this college, all of you, should hold your heads up proud, as I do, that we're part of this remarkable institution. So on behalf of all of us that served you, and that's what I get to do, to say to you on behalf of the 4 of us, thank you for all that you do